Okay, so we all know 2016 is going to be huge for first-person shooters, and that's why Gameranx wants to talk to you about the top 10 FPS games of 2016. Number 10, Paladins, Champions of the Realm. What sometimes feels fantasy, sometimes feels sci-fi, and sometimes feels Team Fortress 2. Paladins is a free-to-play, online, team-based game, but that the game relies on a card system, which I'm sure probably is similar in a few respects to Star Wars Battlefront's card system. Say what you will, except for you'll end up randomly drawing and selecting cards from your deck. The action looks pretty fast-paced, and I love the color and weirdness of the characters. There is actually a beta going on right now if you want to get in on that, but the full release comes sometime this year. Number 9, Battleborn. Borderlands developer Gearbox Software is going to be releasing Battleborn this year, which it's labeling as a hero shooter. What that seems to mean is a lot of it will be based upon specific characters with different abilities. There's a leveling system, but it resets every single match, which is interesting because it implies that the only important thing in order to progress is what you do now, not what you have done. And personally, I think that's a pretty bold direction. Number 8, Shadow Warrior 2 looks like it's going to be a pretty significant game, actually. It really looks as though the combination of sword and gun gameplay is becoming more and more balanced from the footage I've seen of Shadow Warrior 2. The missions are intended to be a little bit more non-linear than the previous game, giving you more choice as to what you're doing. What else I'm interested about Shadow Warrior 2 is the new traversal mechanics, like climbing walls and double jumping, because all the great stuff they came up with for Mirror's Edge really needs to be less ignored as new games are being made. It's also unique in setting because there's just not too many first-person shooters set in anything other than America, Germany, or space. 7, a Call of Duty game from Infinity Ward. As you might remember, the last Infinity Ward Call of Duty game was Call of Duty Ghosts, which came out on November 5th, 2013. By far the most competent developer for Call of Duty other than Infinity Ward is probably Treyarch, and their entries have been good, but it's really interesting to have the original developer of the series back on it. Now, there's not a whole heck of a lot of details about the game as of right now, but we do know that Todd Alderman, who hasn't been with Infinity Ward for 5 years, is back on board and is now the multiplayer project director. Number 6, Homefront: The Revolution. So, Homefront's kind of a controversial topic. Some people think it's great, some people don't, but it looks to me as though the scale is being opened up. We're going to have an open world with a lot of different districts. On top of that, there's a scavenging system to create and modify weapons and equipment. The story takes place 4 years after the first one. Honestly, the potential for this is to perhaps unify Homefront into a much more streamlined and enjoyable experience that both pleases fans of the original game and provides a little bit more balance for other people who maybe haven't played it. Number 5, Far Cry Primal is basically Far Cry in more of a prehistoric time. It's going to be a big open world and feature similar gameplay to Far Cry, except for obviously the weapons are significantly more primitive and you're fighting badgers and saber-toothed cats. Or taming them, because that sounds cool, having a saber-toothed tiger pet. No multiplayer in this game either, which is a bold decision in today's times, but people are starting to be a lot more vocal about the fact that they do want single-player experiences, and I'm excited to see exactly what Far Cry Primal ends up being. Number 4, Dishonored 2. Oh, Dishonored 2. So I'm gonna preface this by saying Dishonored is my jam. I am aware of how utterly uncool that phrase sounds, and I do not care. Arcane Studios made a friggin' masterpiece with Dishonored. It includes elements of BioShock, various platforming games, and a branching morality system that has a significant effect on the plot. I like all that stuff, and the powers in that game are awesome. Just to imagine that we're continuing the story alone. I don't even need to know anything about it, and I'm excited for it. But knowing that the levels are probably going to be significantly bigger, the power is significantly weirder, and the stakes will probably be upped quite a bit because they know they have a lot to live up to for the first. Cannot wait. More info, please. Thank you. Number 3, Deus Ex: Mankind Divided is continuing the story of Adam Jensen, which is cool because Deus Ex has had a few different protagonists, and I think the one that has turned out to be the most popular has been him. It takes place 2 years after Human Revolution, and is about the growing rift between people with augments and people without augments. Now, maybe not the most original plot of all time, but they've developed that world so well that a conflict like this is A, inevitable, and B, going to turn out very interesting. Number 2, Overwatch. Okay, when Blizzard announced this, I was blindsided. There's so much color, so much action, and it came out of nowhere. Blizzard Entertainment is not known for shooter games, period. Now, something you might find weird about it, it's not free to play. They're not going with that. You're gonna have to buy this game, which I like. And I'm not saying that free to to play is automatically bad, because there's another game on this list that is free to play and I thought looks pretty cool. But Blizzard, I don't know, there's just something about them that they understand about games. Yes, there probably will be expansion packs, there might even be DLC, but a game developer has to make a judgment call. Would you rather have players pay for your game, or would you rather have players pay to have fun in your game? And if your microtransactions get in the way of fun, that's a problem. Overwatch bypasses that problem entirely. And at number 1, a game that has been in development hell for a decade, Doom looks like it brings Doom back. The last one was 2004, and after these Wolfenstein games that they've been rebooting have turned out so great, I guarantee you they were like, we need to do this with Doom. So they started back at the beginning, and they created something that really looks like it captures the essence of Doom entirely. I really just hope that the game lives up to the legacy that Doom created, and deep down in my guts, I think that it will. A few bonuses, including Black Mesa, which as you know is a port of the original Half-Life to the Source engine. The absolute final release of that is coming this year. From what we've played in Steam Early Access and the previous year's preview downloads, it's gonna be great. Super Hot, which is a really weird time-bending game, which adds a huge element of strategy that may even recall Max Payne a little bit. And finally, Space Hulk Death, which is actually a turn-based first-person shooter set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe, and I'm a little bit excited to find out what exactly that means. Which of these are you looking forward to the most? Leave us a comment and don't forget to click the like button as well. If you're not subscribed to Gameranx, now is a great time to do that. We upload new videos every single day of the week. The best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you so much for watching this video, and we will see you next time here on Gameranx.